Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova and looked out at the stars. He had been traveling through space for 6 months now. His ship was the first human vessel to go this far from Earth. Jake felt proud, but also nervous about what they might find. "Captain, we are getting close to the Kepler 442 system," said Lisa Hayes from the pilot's seat. She was the best pilot Earth had ever trained. Her hands moved quickly over the controls as she guided the ship through space. Jake nodded and walked over to the science station. Dr. Amy Stone was studying the computer screens with great interest. She was Earth's top expert on alien life forms, even though humans had never met any aliens before. "What do you see, Amy?" Jake asked. Amy looked up from her screen. Her eyes were wide with excitement. "Captain, these energy readings are very strange. They are not natural. Something made them." Ben Clark, the ship's engineer, came up behind them. He wiped grease from his hands with a dirty cloth. "I've never seen energy patterns like these before. They look almost like our own technology, but much more advanced." Jake felt his heart beat faster. For years, scientists on Earth had wondered if humans were alone in the universe. Maybe they were about to find out. "Take us closer, Lisa," Jake ordered. "But keep our weapons ready just in case." The Terra Nova moved slowly toward the energy source. As they got closer, something appeared on their main screen that made everyone gasp. It was huge and clearly made by intelligent beings, but it was not what they expected to find. "That's impossible," Ben whispered. In front of them was a massive space station. It was at least 10 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. But the strangest part was how familiar it looked. The design was clearly human, but the technology was hundreds of years ahead of anything Earth could make. "Amy, are you recording this?" Jake asked. "Yes, Captain. Every detail," Amy replied. She could not take her eyes off the station. The station was beautiful and frightening at the same time. It had smooth metal surfaces that seemed to glow with their own light. Large sections rotated slowly, probably to create artificial gravity. Smaller ships moved around it like busy insects. "Captain," Lisa said with worry in her voice, "they're scanning us." Jake felt sweat on his forehead. "Can you tell what kind of scan?" "It's very advanced. Much more sophisticated than our scanners. They're learning everything about our ship." Suddenly, their communication system came to life. A voice spoke in clear English, but the accent was strange and old-fashioned. "Unknown vessel. This is Haven Station. Please identify yourself and state your purpose in our space." The bridge fell silent. Everyone stared at each other in shock. The voice was human, but how was that possible? Jake cleared his throat and pressed the communication button. "Haven Station. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth vessel Terra Nova. We are explorers from the planet Earth." There was a long pause. Then the voice came back, but now it sounded confused and excited. "Did you say Earth? The home world?" "Earth? Yes," Jake replied. "We are humans from Earth." "Who are you?" Another pause, even longer this time. Jake could hear voices talking in the background, but he could not understand what they were saying. Finally, the voice returned. "Captain Morrison, this is Commander Elena Rodriguez of Haven Station. We are also humans, but our ancestors left Earth over 400 years ago. We thought Earth was destroyed long ago." Jake's legs felt weak. He sat down in his captain's chair. "You're saying you are human? From Earth?" "Yes, Captain. Our people left Earth in the year 1620. We have built a new civilization among the stars. We never thought we would see another ship from Earth again." Amy moved closer to Jake. "Captain, their genetic scans show they are definitely human. The computer confirms it." Jake looked around at his crew. They all had the same expression of amazement and confusion. "Commander Rodriguez," Jake said into the communication system. "Would it be possible for us to meet? This is the most important discovery in human history." "We agree, Captain Morrison, but we must be careful. We have protocols for first contact situations. We will send a small ship to escort you to our docking bay. Please follow their instructions exactly." "Understood, Commander." A sleek ship appeared from the station. It was small, but moved with incredible grace and speed. Its design was unlike anything Jake had ever seen. It looked like it was made from liquid metal that had been shaped by an artist. "Terra Nova, please follow us," came a new voice from the escort ship. "Maintain a distance of 1,000 meters and do not deviate from our path." Lisa carefully piloted their ship behind the escort. As they got closer to the station, Jake could see more details. There were gardens visible through transparent sections. People were walking around inside, but they looked different somehow. They seemed taller and moved with unusual grace. "Captain," Ben said quietly, "their technology is incredible. I'm detecting power sources I don't even understand, and their material science is centuries ahead of ours." The docking bay they entered was enormous. It could have held 50 ships the size of the Terra Nova. Other ships were docked there, each one more advanced than anything Earth had ever built. As their ships settled into place, Jake saw people gathering outside. They wore clothes that looked both futuristic and somehow old-fashioned. They stared at the Terra Nova with the same curiosity that Jake felt about them. "This is it," Jake said to his crew. "We are about to meet humans who left Earth before the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, before the American colonies were even founded. Their ancestors saw Earth when it was a very different place." Amy checked her equipment one more time. "All systems are recording. This moment will change everything we know about human history." Jake stood up and straightened his uniform. "Let's go meet our long-lost cousins." As the airlock opened, Jake felt like he was stepping into a dream. The air smelled different, cleaner somehow. The gravity felt normal, but everything else was wonderfully strange. A group of people approached them. They looked human, but Jake could see small differences. They were taller on average, and their features seemed more refined. But their eyes showed the same curiosity and intelligence that Jake recognized in all humans. The woman leading the group stepped forward. She was tall and elegant, with silver hair and kind eyes. "Captain Morrison," she said with a slight bow. "I am Commander Elena Rodriguez. Welcome to Haven Station. We have waited over 400 years for this moment." Jake shook hands with Commander Elena Rodriguez. Her grip was firm and warm. Behind her stood 2 other people who looked just as curious about the Earth humans as Jake felt about them. "Commander Rodriguez, this is an honor," Jake said. "I'm still trying to understand how this is possible." Elena smiled. "Please, call me Elena, and I understand your confusion. Let me introduce my companions. This is Marcus Webb, our chief engineer, and Katie Bell, our cultural liaison officer." Marcus was a big man with gentle eyes and hands that looked like they had built many things. Katie was younger, with bright eyes that seemed to take in every detail about the Earth humans. "Welcome aboard Haven Station," Marcus said in a deep voice. "We are very excited to meet people from Earth." Jake introduced his own crew. "This is Lisa Hayes, our pilot, Ben Clark, our engineer, and Dr. Amy Stone, our scientist." Amy stepped forward with her scanner in her hand. "I hope you don't mind, but I would like to run some tests to confirm that you are really human. This is so incredible that we need to be sure." Elena nodded. "Of course, we understand your need for proof. We have our own scientists who would like to study you as well, if you agree." "Absolutely," Amy said with excitement. Katie spoke up. "Would you like to see our station? We can talk as we walk." Jake looked at his crew, and they all nodded. We would love a tour. As they walked through the corridors of Haven Station, Jake was amazed by everything he saw. The walls seemed to glow with soft light. The floors were smooth and clean. Plants grew in beautiful gardens that they passed. How many people live here? Lisa asked. About 50,000 on this station, Elena replied. But we have many colonies throughout 17 star systems. Our total population is nearly 50 million people. Ben's eyes went wide. 50 million? And you've been traveling between stars for 400 years? Marcus nodded. Our ancestors received help from someone we call the benefactor. We never learned who they were, but they gave us technology that allowed us to leave Earth and travel to the stars. What kind of technology? Ben asked eagerly. We have ships that can travel faster than light, Marcus explained. We can create artificial gravity, convert energy into matter, and communicate instantly across vast distances. Jake felt overwhelmed. On Earth, we just developed faster-than-light travel 5 years ago, and our ships are much slower than yours must be. Elena looked surprised. Earth developed space travel on its own? That's remarkable. We thought Earth had destroyed itself long ago. That's why we never went back. Amy was scanning Elena with her device. She looked at the readings and gasped. You're definitely human. Your DNA is almost identical to ours, but there are small differences. Katie was curious. What kind of differences? You seem to have eliminated many genetic diseases, Amy explained, and some of your physical abilities appear enhanced. You're stronger and faster than average Earth humans. Elena nodded. Over the centuries, we learned to improve our genetic code. We wanted to be the best humans we could be. They entered a large room with windows that looked out into space. Jake could see several planets in the distance and ships moving between them. This is our main observation deck, Elena said. From here you can see 3 of our colony worlds. Lisa pressed her face against the window. They're beautiful. Do people really live on all of them? Yes, Elena replied. Each world is home to millions of our people. We've learned to terraform planets, making them suitable for human life. Jake sat down in one of the comfortable chairs. Elena, I have to ask, why did your ancestors leave Earth? What was happening in 1620? Elena's expression became more serious. Our people were facing religious persecution and political upheaval. They feared that Earth was heading toward a dark age of war and destruction. When the benefactor offered them a chance to start over among the stars, they took it. But Earth survived, Jake said. We had wars and problems, but we made it through. We learned from our mistakes. Katie leaned forward with interest. Tell us about Earth now. What is it like? Jake thought about how to describe his home world. Earth has about 8 billion people now. We've had many wars, but we've also made incredible progress. We've learned to work together, mostly. We've cleaned up our environment and developed amazing technology. 8 billion? Marcus said with surprise. That's much more than our 50 million. Yes, but we're all crowded onto one planet, Lisa said. You've spread out across many worlds. That's incredible. Elena looked thoughtful. We chose a different path than Earth. We focused on perfection and harmony. It sounds like Earth chose adaptation and growth. Amy finished her scans and put away her equipment. I've confirmed that you are completely human. But I'm curious about something. Do you still remember Earth culture? Your history? Katie smiled. We remember everything. We have detailed records of Earth up to the year 1620. We've preserved the languages, the customs, the knowledge. But we've also developed our own culture over 4 centuries. What's it like? Jake asked. Elena gestured around them. We live in peace. We have no wars, no poverty, no disease. Everyone has a role to play in our society. We focus on learning, creating, and exploring. Ben looked impressed, but also puzzled. That sounds perfect, but how do you handle disagreements? What happens when people want different things? Marcus answered. We have learned to talk through our problems. Our Council of Elders helps guide us when we cannot agree. We believe that cooperation is better than conflict. Jake thought about Earth's history of wars and struggles. That's admirable. But sometimes conflict can lead to growth and innovation. Earth's challenges made us stronger in some ways. Elena nodded slowly. Perhaps that is true. We chose security and stability. Earth chose risk and change. Both paths led to survival. Amy spoke up. I'd like to learn more about your genetic modifications. Have you studied what you might have lost by eliminating genetic diversity? Katie looked uncertain. What do you mean? On Earth, we've learned that genetic diversity makes us stronger as a species, Amy explained. Different genes help us survive different challenges. If you've made all your people similar, you might be vulnerable to certain threats. Elena and Marcus exchanged glances. We hadn't considered that, Elena admitted. Our focus was on eliminating weakness, not preserving diversity. The conversation was interrupted by a soft chiming sound. Elena touched a device on her wrist and listened to a voice that spoke too quietly for the kindly Earth humans to hear. Elena's face became serious. I'm sorry, but we need to cut this meeting short. Our long-range sensors have detected something approaching. Our system, something large. Jake stood up quickly. What kind of something? We're not sure yet, Elena replied. But it's not one of our ships, and it's much bigger than your vessel. We need to investigate. Marcus was already moving toward the door. Commander, should we take defensive positions? Elena nodded. Yes, but carefully. We don't want to appear hostile if these are peaceful visitors. Jake looked at his crew. Elena, would you like our help? The Terra Nova isn't as advanced as your ships, but we're experienced explorers. Elena paused to consider. That's generous, Captain. But your ship might be at risk if this turns out to be dangerous. We're willing to take that risk, Jake said. Firmly. Besides, if these are more humans from Earth, you might need us to communicate with them. Elena smiled for the first time since the alarm. Very well. But you must follow our lead and our safety protocols. As they hurried back toward the docking bay, Jake felt excitement and worry mixed together. First contact with other humans had been amazing, but now they might be facing something unknown and potentially dangerous. Elena, Jake said as they walked quickly through the corridors, in your 400 years out here, have you ever encountered alien life? Elena shook her head. Never. We found many planets suitable for life, but no intelligent species. You are the first other humans we've met, and potentially the first aliens. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Earth humans and Haven humans were about to face the unknown together. Whatever was coming toward them, they would meet it as one human family, separated by centuries, but united by their shared origin. Jake and his crew followed Elena through the busy corridors of Haven Station. People were moving quickly but calmly, preparing for whatever was approaching their system. Jake noticed how organized everything seemed compared to the controlled chaos he was used to on Earthship's dot. They reached a large room filled with screens and control panels. Dozens of people worked at various stations, monitoring the approaching object. An older man with gray hair and calm eyes approached them. Captain Morrison, this is Chairman Paul Carter, head of our Council of Elders, Elena said. Chairman Carter shook Jake's hand firmly. Captain, we're honored to meet humans from Earth, but I wish it were under better circumstances. What exactly are we dealing with? Jake asked. A woman with short brown hair came over to them. I'm Consular Grace Miller, she said. Our sensors show a massive fleet approaching. At least 30 ships, each one larger than our biggest vessels. Amy checked her own portable scanner. I'm not picking up any human life signs from this distance. Whatever's coming, it's not from Earth. Chairman Carter looked worried. In 400 years, we've never encountered hostile aliens. We're not sure how to respond. Jake looked at the main screen, which showed the approaching fleet as small dots of light. On Earth, we've always prepared for the possibility of hostile first contact. We might be able to help. A new person joined their group. He was tall and serious-looking, wearing what appeared to be a military uniform. Elena introduced him as Commander Ryan Foster, their chief security officer. Commander Foster has concerns about working with Earth humans, Elena explained carefully. Ryan looked directly at Jake. No offense, Captain, but our research into Earth's history shows a pattern of violence and warfare. We're not sure we want to involve you in our defense. Jake felt his crew tense up behind him. Lisa stepped forward with anger in her voice. We came here in peace. We're offering to help defend against aliens, and you're worried about us? Ben crossed his arms. Earth humans have survived wars, disasters, and every challenge thrown at us. Maybe that experience could be useful right now. Chairman Carter raised his hand for calm. Please, we're all humans here. We need to work together. Amy was studying her scanner readings. I'm detecting some interesting patterns in your people's genetics. You've eliminated many traits that Earth humans still have. What kind of traits? Counselor Miller asked. Aggression, for one thing, Amy explained. Also certain stress responses and survival instincts. You've bred yourselves to be calmer and more cooperative. Ryan looked concerned. Those traits were sources of conflict and violence. We removed them to create a peaceful society. Jake felt a growing understanding of the differences between their peoples. But those same traits also help humans fight when they need to. They help us survive dangerous situations. Elena was quiet for a moment, thinking, Are you saying we might have made ourselves weaker by trying to become perfect? Before anyone could answer, alarms began sounding throughout the station. A technician called out from his station. The alien fleet is increasing speed. They'll be here in 6 hours. Are they responding to our communication attempts? Chairman Carter asked. No, sir. They're ignoring all signals. Jake moved to look at the sensor displays. The formation of the approaching ships looked military to him. Elena, this looks like an attack formation. I think they're hostile. Commander Foster was coordinating with his security teams through his communication device. Our defense fleet is taking position around the station, but we've never fought a real battle before. What kind of weapons do you have? Jake asked. Energy. Weapons designed to disable rather than destroy, Ryan replied. We never saw the need for more destructive weapons. Jake exchanged glances with his crew. On Earth, humans had learned to build weapons that could destroy entire cities. It was a dark part of their history, but it might be necessary now. We need to get back to our ship, Jake said. The Terra Nova has weapons designed for combat. They're not as advanced as yours, but they're built to fight. Elena nodded. Go prepare your ship. We'll coordinate our defense from here. As Jake and his crew hurried back to their ship, Ben voiced what they were all thinking. Captain, these people are amazing, but they're not ready for a real fight. No, Jake agreed. They spent 400 years building a perfect, peaceful society. They've never had to deal with someone who wants to hurt them. Lisa was already planning flight patterns in her head. Their ships are faster and more maneuverable than ours, but our weapons pack more punch. If we work together, we might have a chance. Amy was still thinking about the genetic differences she had discovered. Captain, I think the Haven humans need us more than they realize. They've removed the very traits that make humans good. Fighting and surviving threats. Back on the Terra Nova, The crew quickly prepared for battle. Ben checked all weapon systems while Lisa ran through combat maneuvers. Amy set up her equipment to analyze whatever they were about to face. Jake opened. Communication with Haven Station. Elena, we're ready to coordinate with your defense fleet. Elena's voice came through clearly. Thank you, Jake. Our Admiral Scott Phillips is commanding the defense from his ship, the New Eden. He'll coordinate with you. A new voice came over the communication system. Captain Morrison, this is Admiral Phillips. I understand you have combat experience? Yes, Admiral. Earth humans have unfortunately had plenty of practice with warfare. We're ready to follow your lead. Actually, Captain, I was hoping you might advise us. Our weapons are designed to disable enemy ships without killing the crews. But if these aliens are truly hostile, we might need to use more deadly force. Jake felt the weight of the situation. These peaceful humans were asking him to teach them how to kill. Admiral, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, we'll do what's necessary to protect both our peoples. The next few hours passed quickly. The Haven Defense Fleet took positions around their station and colony worlds. The Terra Nova joined a squadron of Haven ships, looking small and primitive next to their sleek vessel's dot as the alien fleet got closer. Amy's sensors began picking up more details. Captain, these ships are definitely not human. The design is completely foreign. And I'm detecting thousands of life forms on each ship. What kind of life forms? Jake asked. I can't tell from this distance, but they're not human. They're larger. And their biology is very different from ours. Elena's voice came over the communication system. All ships, the alien fleet is now close enough for visual contact, putting it on main screen. What Jake saw made his blood run cold. The alien ships were massive and dark, covered with what looked like armor. They moved in perfect formation, like a swarm of deadly insects. There was something about their design that seemed focused on one thing: conquest. Elena, Jake said, into his communicator, I don't think these aliens are here to talk. As if to prove his point, the alien fleet suddenly accelerated toward Haven Station. Energy weapons began charging on the front of their ships, creating an ominous glow in the darkness of space. Admiral Phillips' voice was tense. All Haven ships, prepare for combat. Earth vessel Terra Nova, stay close to our flagship. Jake looked at his crew. Lisa's hands were steady on the controls. Ben had all weapons ready. Amy was recording everything for Earth scientists to study later. This is it, Jake said. Two branches of humanity, meeting for the first time in 400 years, and now we have to fight together for our survival. The alien fleet opened fire, sending deadly energy beams toward the Haven defense ships. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin. The first alien attack hit 3 Haven ships at once. Jake watched in horror as the elegant vessels were torn apart by weapons more powerful than anything he had ever seen. The aliens weren't trying to disable the ships. They were trying to destroy them completely. All Haven ships, evasive maneuvers. Admiral Phillips shouted over the communication system, return fire. The Haven ships moved with incredible grace, dodging and weaving through space like dancers. Their return fire was precise and controlled, hitting the alien ships exactly where they aimed. But Jake quickly saw the problem. Elena, your weapons aren't doing enough damage, Jake said into his communicator. You're trying not to hurt them, but they're trying to kill you. Elena's voice was strained. Our weapons are designed to disable, not destroy. We don't know how to fight to kill. Jake felt sick about what he had to say next. Then you need to learn fast, or we're all going to die. Lisa was piloting the Terra Nova through the battle with skill that amazed even Jake. Earth ships were built for war, and she knew how to use that advantage. Captain, their ships are tough, but our missiles can punch through their armor. Target the lead ship, Jake ordered. Let's show them what Earth weapons can do. The Terra Nova fired a full spread of missiles at the largest alien vessel. The explosion lit up space as the missiles tore through the alien ship's armor. For a moment, Jake thought they had won. Then the alien ship kept coming, damaged but still dangerous. These things are built like tanks, Ben said from his engineering station. It's going to take everything we have to stop them. Over the communication system, Jake could hear Admiral Phillips trying to coordinate the Haven defense. The Admiral was a good leader, but his ships and crews weren't trained for this kind of brutal combat. Admiral, Jake called out, your ships need to work together. Focus all your fire on one alien ship at a time. We're trying, Captain Morrison, but our crews have never fought like this before. Jake made a quick decision. Lisa, take us alongside the New Eden. I'm going to transfer over to Admiral Phillips' ship. Captain, that's dangerous, Amy protested. Someone needs to help them learn how to fight, and fast, Jake replied. Ben, you have command of the Terra Nova. Follow Admiral Phillips' orders and keep our ship safe. Using a small shuttle pod, Jake transferred to the New Eden while the battle raged around them. The Haven flagship was beautiful inside, with smooth walls and soft lighting. But Jake could see that the crew was struggling with the reality of combat. Admiral Phillips met Jake at the airlock. He was an older man with kind eyes that now showed fear and confusion. Captain Morrison, thank you for coming. We're losing this battle. Jake looked at the tactical displays on the bridge. The alien fleet had lost only 2 ships, while the Haven forces had lost 8. Admiral, your crews are good, but they're fighting the wrong kind of battle. What do you mean? Jake pointed at the screen showing the alien formations. Look at how they move. Perfect coordination, no hesitation, pure aggression. They're not trying to capture or negotiate. They want to wipe you out completely. Admiral Phillips looked sick. We've never faced anything like this. Our people don't know how to be ruthless. Then I'll teach them, Jake said grimly. But they need to learn fast. Jake took position at the communication station and opened a channel to all Haven ships. All Haven vessels. This is Captain Morrison from Earth. I know this goes against everything you believe, but you need to forget about being merciful. These aliens won't show you any mercy. He watched the tactical display as he continued. Focus all your weapons on one alien ship until it's completely destroyed. Don't spread your fire around. Work in groups of 3 ships and concentrate your attack. Slowly, the Haven ships began to change their tactics. 3 ships would target one alien vessel and keep firing until it exploded. It was working, but the cost was terrible. For every alien ship they destroyed, they lost 2 of their own. Captain Morrison, Admiral Phillips said quietly, we're running out of ships. At this rate, they'll overwhelm us in an hour. Jake studied the battle display and saw something that gave him hope. Admiral, I think I know their weakness. Look at how they fight. Perfect coordination, like they're all controlled by one mind. I see it. What does that mean? On Earth, we learned that centralized command can be a weakness. If we can disrupt their coordination, they might become confused and vulnerable. Jake opened his communicator to the Terra Nova. Ben, I need you to analyze the alien communication patterns. Look for a command ship that might be controlling the others. Ben's voice came back quickly. Already on it, Captain. There's one ship in the center of their formation that's sending constant signals to all the others. That's our target, Jake told Admiral Phillips. If we can destroy their command ship, the others might not know how to fight as a team. Admiral Phillips nodded. But that ship is in the center of their fleet. We'd have to fight through all the others to reach it. Jake smiled grimly. Not necessarily. I have an idea. but it's going to require perfect timing and a lot of courage. He opened communication to all remaining Haven ships and the Terra Nova. All vessels, this is Captain Morrison. We're going to try something that Earth military calls a suicide run. We're going to punch straight through their formation and hit their command ship. Elena's voice came over the communicator. Jake, that sounds incredibly dangerous. It is, Jake admitted, but it's our only chance. The Haven ships will provide covering fire while the Terra Nova leads the attack on their command ship. Admiral Phillips looked worried. Captain, you're asking your crew to sacrifice themselves for people you just met. Jake thought about his crew and knew what their answer would be. Admiral, that's what humans do. We protect each other, whether we're from Earth or Haven Station. The plan required split-second timing. The remaining Haven ships would attack from multiple directions, drawing the alien weapons away from the center. Then the Terra Nova would make a high-speed run straight at the command ship. Lisa, Jake called to his ship, you'll have about 30 seconds to get close enough for our weapons to be effective. Can you do it? Lisa's voice was calm but determined. I can do it, Captain. Just make sure you're ready to fire everything we have. The attack began with incredible violence. Haven ships came at the aliens from all sides, their beautiful vessels weaving through deadly energy beams. Jake watched. Brave crews sacrificed their ships to give the Terra Nova a chance. Now, Lisa, Jake shouted. Go, go, go. The Terra Nova shot forward like an arrow, racing through the gap created by the Haven ship's sacrifice. Alien weapons fired at them from all sides, but Lisa's piloting kept them alive. 30 seconds to target, Lisa reported. Her voice tense with concentration. Jake could see the alien command ship growing larger on the screen. It was massive and covered with weapons, but it seemed unprepared for a direct assault. 20 seconds. Lisa called out. Jake, prepared to give the order to fire everything they had. But then Amy's voice came over the communicator with urgency. Captain, I'm detecting something strange about the alien command ship. The life signs inside aren't like the others. I think there might be prisoners on board. Jake felt his heart sink. If there were prisoners, they couldn't just destroy the ship. But if they didn't, humanity might not survive. 10 seconds, Captain, Lisa reported. What are your orders? Jake had only seconds to make the most important decision of his life. Destroy the alien command ship and possibly kill innocent prisoners, or risk the survival of both human civilizations. Amy, are you sure about those life signs? Jake shouted over the noise of battle. Yes, Captain. There are definitely non-alien life forms on that ship. They might be prisoners from other worlds the aliens have conquered. Jake's mind raced. There had to be another way. Lisa, can you get us close enough to dock with their ship instead of destroying it? That's crazy, Captain. Their weapons will tear us apart at close range. We have to try, Jake decided. If we can board their command ship and take control, we might be able to stop the entire fleet without killing prisoners. Admiral Phillips' voice came over the communicator. Captain Morrison, that's suicide. You'll never survive a boarding action. Jake looked at the tactical display. The Haven ships were down to their last few vessels, but they were still fighting bravely. Admiral, Earth humans have one advantage that Haven humans don't have. We're used to fighting up close and personal. He opened communication to his crew. On the Terra Nova, Ben, Lisa, Amy, I'm going to board the alien command ship. Keep the Terra Nova safe and be ready to pick me up if I succeed. Captain, you can't go alone, Ben protested. I have to. Someone needs to pilot the ship, and someone needs to analyze the alien technology. Amy, I need you to guide me through their ship's layout from the Terra Nova. Lisa's voice was tight with worry. Approaching docking range now, Captain. Their point defense weapons are tracking us. Elena, Jake called to Haven Station. I need all remaining ships to concentrate fire on the command ship's weapons. Give me a clear path to their docking bay." "Jake, this is insane," Elena replied, "but we'll give you all the cover we can." The remaining Haven ships threw everything they had at the alien command ship. Their precise weapons fire knocked out several of the alien weapon systems, creating a brief opening. "Now, Lisa, get me alongside their ship." The Terra Nova shook violently as alien weapons grazed their hull, but Lisa's expert piloting got them close enough to dock. Jake could see the alien ship's hull up close. It was covered in strange markings and built from materials he didn't recognize. "Docking successful," Lisa reported. "But Captain, I don't know how long we can stay attached. Their hull is trying to repel us." Jake grabbed his sidearm and a portable communicator. "Amy, can you scan through their hull and guide me to their command center?" "I'm trying, Captain. Their ship is huge and the layout is confusing. But I think the command center is about 3 levels up from where you're docking." Jake forced open the airlock between the ships. The alien ship's atmosphere was breathable, but smelled strange, like metal and ozone. Emergency lights flashed red throughout the corridors. "I'm inside," Jake reported. "It's like a maze in here." The corridors were much larger than those on human. Ships built for beings taller and broader than humans. Jake moved quickly but carefully, knowing that aliens could appear at any moment. "Turn left at the next junction." Amy's voice guided him through his communicator. "Then go straight for about 50 meters. Jake heard strange sounds echoing through the ship, mechanical noises mixed with what might have been alien voices. As he moved deeper into the ship, he began to see the prisoners Amy had detected. They were in holding cells along the corridors. Jake saw beings from several different species, some humanoid, others completely alien. They all looked scared and weak, clearly mistreated by their captors. "My God," Jake whispered. "Amy, there are hundreds of prisoners here. This ship is like a slave transport." "That explains why the aliens are so aggressive," Amy replied. "They're not just conquering worlds, they're collecting intelligent species." Jake reached a junction where he had to choose between 3 corridors. As he paused to check Amy's directions, he heard heavy footsteps approaching. He quickly hid behind a support beam as 3 massive alien creatures walked past. The aliens were terrifying to look at. They stood nearly 3 meters tall, with 4 arms and skin that looked like armor. Their faces were dominated by large eyes and sharp teeth. They carried weapons that hummed with deadly energy. "Captain, are you okay?" Amy's voice was worried. "Your life signs spiked." "I'm fine," Jake whispered. "But these aliens are built for war. No wonder the Haven ships had trouble fighting them." Following Amy's directions, Jake climbed up 3 levels toward the command center. With each level, he saw more evidence of the aliens' cruelty. The prisoners came from dozens of different worlds, all captured and enslaved. "Jake," Elena's voice came through his communicator, "our ships can't hold out much longer. The aliens are regrouping for a final attack." "I'm almost at their command center," Jake replied. "Give me 2 more minutes." He reached a large door marked with alien symbols. Through the door, he could hear the sounds of alien voices and electronic equipment. This had to be their command center. Jake took a deep breath and forced the door open. Inside, he saw a dozen aliens working at control stations. In the center of the room was a large alien who was clearly their commander. The aliens turned toward Jake with surprise and anger. They had never seen a human before, and they weren't expecting an intruder on their command ship. Jake didn't hesitate. He raised his weapon and fired at the control panels, causing explosions and sparks throughout the command center. The aliens roared with fury and moved toward him, but Jake kept firing at their equipment. "The command systems are damaged." Amy's voice was excited. I can see the other alien ships losing coordination. Through the command center's windows, Jake could see the alien fleet beginning to drift apart. Without their central command, the ships were no longer fighting as one coordinated force. The alien commander grabbed Jake with two of his forearms, lifting him off the ground. Jake looked into the creature's large eyes and saw intelligence. There, but also cruelty and hatred. Why do you take prisoners? Jake asked, knowing the alien probably couldn't understand him. To his surprise, the alien replied in broken English. We collect ... intelligent species. For the Dominion, you will make good slaves. Not today, Jake said, and activated a grenade. He had brought from the Terra Nova. Jake closed his eyes and waited for the explosion. But instead, he heard the sound of energy weapons firing. When he opened his eyes, he saw Elena and 3 Haven soldiers in the command center. They had somehow boarded the alien ship and found him. Jake! Elena shouted. Are you hurt? The alien commander and his crew were unconscious, stunned by Haven energy weapons. Jake felt weak but alive. How did you get here? Jake asked. We followed your path through the ship, Elena explained. When we saw what these creatures were doing to innocent beings, we knew we had to help. Amy's voice came over the communicator with excitement. Captain, it worked. The alien fleet is in complete disorder. Our ships are mopping up the remaining resistance. Jake looked around the alien command center and saw computer systems that were still functioning. Elena, we need to learn everything we can about these Dominion aliens. If they have other fleets, they might come back. Elena nodded. Our scientists will study everything. But first, we need to free all these prisoners. Over the next several hours, the combined human forces freed hundreds of beings from dozens of different worlds. Many had been prisoners for years, taken from their homes by the Dominion's conquest fleets. As they worked together to help the freed prisoners, Jake saw something remarkable happening. The Earth humans and Haven humans were learning from each other. The Haven humans were amazed by Earth's fighting spirit and adaptability. The Earth humans were impressed by Haven's advanced technology and humanitarian values. Jake, Elena said, as they watched Ben and Marcus working together to repair a damaged alien ship that would carry some prisoners home. I think we're stronger together than either of us could be alone. Jake nodded. Earth humans learned to fight and survive through conflict. Haven humans learn to build and create through cooperation. Together, we have both skills. Admiral Phillips approached them with a serious expression. Captain Morrison, our combined analysis of the alien computers shows that the Dominion has many more fleets like this one. They're systematically conquering this entire region of the galaxy. Then we'll need to be ready for them, Jake replied. Both Earth and Haven working together. Elena smiled. The Human Alliance. I like the sound of that. Amy finished her analysis of the alien technology and joined the group. I've made an interesting discovery. The genetic diversity of Earth humans seems to make us naturally resistant to the Dominion's mind control technology. That's probably why they wanted to capture us rather than control us. What does that mean? Elena asked. It means that Haven, humans with their reduced genetic diversity, might be vulnerable to alien mind control. But working together with Earth humans, you're protected. Jake looked out the window of the alien command ship at the mixed fleet of Earth and Haven vessels working together. Our differences make us stronger. Earth's chaos and Haven's order. Earth's fighting spirit and Haven's technology. Earth's genetic diversity and Haven's advanced science. Elena nodded thoughtfully. For 400 years, our peoples developed separately. Earth learned to survive through struggle. Haven learned to thrive through cooperation. Now we can teach each other